But now thus says the Lord, He who created you, O Jacob, He who formed you, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine. Isaiah 43, verse 1. A portion of this verse has been the focus for Wings participants this month. It's loaded with truths that we can apply to our lives. He who created you is a phrase that reminds us that we are created by the Master Craftsman, God Himself. And one thing we know is that God doesn't make junk. Just like the paintings of Vincent Van Gogh, Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, and Rembrandt all have tremendous value because of the artist, we too have tremendous value because of the artist. And not only do we have tremendous value, but every person in the world has tremendous value. Every person born into the world should have a little tag attached that says, handmade by God. The verse goes on to say, fear not, for I have redeemed you. To be redeemed is to be purchased or bought back. Like when I got my first guitar with 7 books of gold bond stamps. You had to have the grip strength of a bear to play a simple chord. We have been redeemed by Christ's sacrifice from the power of sin, death, and the devil. Because we have been redeemed, we need not fear anything, even death itself. And when you don't fear death itself, there is really nothing that you need to be afraid of. The verse closes with these words, I have called you by name. You are mine. Isn't it amazing that God calls us by name? Ponder that for just a moment. God knows your name. He even knows the number of hairs on our heads. He is not a God who is disinterested in what's going on in our lives. He is a God who is intimately interested in what's going on in our lives. Let's review the truths of this verse quickly. We are handmade by God, which gives us tremendous value. We are redeemed by God from the powers of sin, death, and the devil, which means we don't need to fear anything, including death itself. And we have been called by name by God in the waters of holy baptism and made His sons and daughters. Think on these things because these truths are the bedrock of a healthy identity. Press on in the Lord.